What up, what up, what up, everybody? It's your boy Cardinal Red, and we are back for another one. Alright, y'all, so today I want to give my final fight prediction for Manny Pacquiao versus Yordenis Ugas. A historic ending. Alright, y'all, so some interview came out today that I want to reference to with Manny Pacquiao, Ellie Setback. Shouts out to Ellie Setback, man. He's been a boxing YouTuber that I've admired for a long time, man. Definitely has the opportunity to be big because of his location, and he does great interviews and very respectful dude, man. I ain't got nothing really bad to say about Ellie. But Ellie interviewed Manny Pacquiao early today, and Manny Pacquiao had some things to say about his future in the sport of boxing that I want to touch on a little bit later. All right, y'all. So my final fight prediction for Manny Pacquiao, Yordenis Ugas, a historic ending. You know how I see this fight. A few months back, I called for this fight. I was advocating for this fight, man. I was hoping this fight was going to get signed because I felt like at the time it was the perfect fight because of the talks that were going on about Spence and Crawford perhaps getting it on. I just felt like, well, if he can't get the Spence fight, if he can't get the Crawford fight, why not go get your belt back from Yordenis Ugas, because it would be it would put you back in the talks for unification fights. And at the time, everybody was kind of leaving Pacquiao out of the talk for unification because they felt like, well, he doesn't have a belt anymore, strap season, we're only going after belts. So they were kind of leaving Pacquiao out of the talks. And then there was talks of Pacquiao perhaps being reinstated as a champ, which has never happened. I don't know what's going on with that. Then the Crawford negotiation started and fell apart. Then the Spence fight got announced. Everything was supposed to be copacetic and lovely. He gets injured all of a sudden, and then all of a sudden Yordenis Ugas' opponent gets injured, and now we got Ugas Pacquiao. So with all of that, how does this fight actually play out? I think that Manny Pacquiao will use his speed and his angles in this fight to his advantage. Similar to the Margarito fight, similar to the Cotto fight, similar to the Keith Thurman fight, where you had a bigger opponent, slower opponent, who likes to mix it up on the inside. Pacquiao turned it into a more of an outside-inside fight, to where he would play on the outside, move around, make guys miss, and then come in with flurries and hard shots, stunning his opponent. And it caught Keith Thurman by surprise, knocked him down in the first round. It berated Cotto, it berated Margarito, because neither one of those guys could catch Pacquiao or match his speed. And I feel like that's going to play a major role. I think the angles of Pacquiao is what's going to give you guys the most trouble. I think he can probably handle the speed. He's been in with a few, nobody nowhere near the speed of Manny Pacquiao or the caliber of talent of Manny Pacquiao, but he's fought speedy guys before. So I don't think the speed is what's going to give him the most problems. I think the angles, and for bigger fighters, it's normally the angles, because when you're a bigger body guy, you tend to throw wider punches, looping punches, just because your body's base is so much bigger. You take up more area than a smaller guy would. So when you throw a punch, it's more of a looping punch instead of a straightforward punch. To where Pacquiao has smaller arms, he can throw those straightforward punches because he commands a smaller diameter I don't know exactly how to put it a little better in wording, but his diameter is smaller, so he can throw punches from weird angles. He can turn his back and throw a punch. He can duck down and throw a punch. He can pivot and throw a punch, to where a bigger guy, if they tried those same things, the punch is always going to be a more loopy type of punch. You got to actually throw punches and at least train in boxing to know what I'm talking about. So I feel like the angles of Yordenis Ugas are going to give, the angles of Manny Pacquiao are going to give Yordenis Ugas a lot of trouble. Now, Ugas is a resilient fighter. He's a tough guy. He can take a punch. He went in there with Sean Porter. I actually believe he beat Sean Porter. I watched that fight. I think he won that fight by a point. And I think he's going to be able to contend with the power and the speed of Pacquiao, but not the angles. And I think as Pacquiao figures him out more, it's going to become more and more of a problem for Yordenis Ugas the longer the fight goes on. And I actually believe Pacquiao has the chance to get him out of there early in a similar fashion that he got Keith Thurman out of there early. Because Ugas, I would say another factor is going to be his stamina. Can he contend with the stamina of Manny Pacquiao? Can Pacquiao put some flurries on him early, perhaps land that big shot like he did with Keith Thurman early to get him out of there? Or will it take a stamina performance? Yordenis Ugas is the younger fighter, Manny Pacquiao the older of the two guys. But it's one thing nobody will ever question. It's Manny Pacquiao's stamina. He always, he's a runner. He likes basketball. He's always in great shape when it comes to his stamina. How can he take a punch at 42, not having to have had a fight in 2 years? How can he his speed and his angles? How is that going to look? Is the power still going to be there? These are all question marks. But in my mind, I feel like it's still going to be there. We've seen him, what he's done in sparring practice. We've seen, what other people who've seen him in sparring have said. So I think Manny Pacquiao's there. I don't think the version of Pacquiao we're going to get is going to be any worse than what we saw in the Keith Thurman fight. And we saw a spectacular version of Pacquiao. The only way Ugas wins this fight is if Pacquiao gasses out. If Pacquiao gasses, I think Ugas has a chance. If we get to the 6th, 7th, 8th round and Pacquiao, he's not throwing flurries and combinations anymore, I think he might be in trouble. But I in no way believe Pacquiao's going to do that. I'm looking for a knockout in this fight. And now it's time to touch on the other subject. I'm looking for a knockout in this fight for a reason. Pacquiao came out today and he said, Yordenis Ugas might be my last fight. And I think that's more of the fact that I think Pacquiao's a little discouraged right now about what's going on. The fact that he tried to get the Crawford fight, it fell apart. He had the Spence fight right in his clutches, and it fell apart. And I think he's a little frustrated right now, and those are words of frustration. Maybe he feels like, well, hey, if people just don't want to fight me, if they're going to avoid me like they do Rigondeaux, you can say what you want about Rigondeaux and his style of fighting, but it's his style of fighting. And I think he won that fight, actually, based off the other guy wasn't hitting him. And I think styles make fights. And Pacquiao's style, it seems to be a little bit too much for Crawford. It seems to be a little bit too much for Spence. And these guys are kind of ducking Pacquiao. Not kind of, they're ducking Pacquiao. So if he can't get the best fights out there, I think he's discouraged and he feels like, hey, why do I keep pursuing this? I have a sure thing with the presidency of the Philippines. I can defeat Yordenis Ugas and retire a champion. Not too many people can say that. But I think if Pacquiao knocks Ugas out, I think that will reinvigorate the fire for him to keep fighting for unification. He might not try to unify all the titles. He might try to unify with one of those guys and say, hey, it's a done deal after that. but I don't think this is going to be the last time we see Manny Pacquiao. And I think the powers that be planned it like this. I don't think they want to let Pacquiao go. He's a meal ticket. He's an easy meal ticket because he comes with a built-in fan base. He has a lot of people who love him. He has a lot of people who want to see him succeed, and those people are going to follow Pacquiao wherever he goes. And I think they are trying to use his popularity to launch other fighters. And I, in a way, I feel like it's unfair. In a way, I'm like, you know what? That's what boxers do. That's what promoters do. But I don't feel like it's fair at this age for them to be trying to use Pacquiao in that way. And I think Pacquiao caught their hand in the proverbial cookie jar, and now he has a decision to make for himself. Do I want to continue if I beat Yordenis Ugas, re-sign with the PBC, maybe for two, I'm pretty sure they'll try to push it to 3 fights, maybe 2 fights if he can get the Spence fight and then the Crawford fight. Hopefully he just goes for one more. I would love to see him unify all titles, but if he can at least get the Spence fight or the Crawford fight, I would be completely happy with that as a fan. I think those two guys should have to get it on first. Perhaps we'll see Pacquiao semi-retire. Perhaps he'll beat you guys, hopefully, and then say, hey, you know what? I'm going to give Errol Spence time to heal, and for him and Terrence Crawford to work it out, fight each other. I'll come back after they fight as the champion to unify titles with you. Perhaps we'll get it in that way. Let me know what you guys think about that down in the comment section, man. Hit that like button for me. Please subscribe. I'm going to be going live here more than likely for the fight. I might take that day off of work as well just to go live for the fight. I might go live several times during that day. But I'm going to try to do another live during the week. If you want to try to be a part of that live, man, hit me up in the comment section. Let me know how I can get in touch with you, or go holler at me on Google or Instagram or WhatsApp so I can get your information from you, man. Try to put that together. I want to get some new people. Shouts out to the homie Caps, but I don't want to just keep having Caps on, you know what I'm saying? I want to give some more different type of opinions out there to the public through my channel. So if you want to do that, if you want to be interviewed by Cardinal Red, I would love to interview even just fight fans, to get your perspective on the boxing, the game of, and the sport of boxing, man. It's your boy Cardinal Red, and we are out of here. Where we at, man? We out here chilling today, man. I decided to give y'all a new look. We at the football stadium today, man. So the players, they going to practice right now, man. Their practice facilities right over there. So I'm like, man, let me give y'all a quick new look, man, of the Ville, man. We're gonna do it big at U of L this year, man. We about to bring home another national championship: basketball, football, women's, soccer, all that.